Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
So this week we are going to talk all about fashion because as we are recording this, New York Fashion Week is going on for, I guess, fall trends.
And also, spring is here. We can see by the weather changes that it's getting to almost be in the 60s. So everybody's thinking about their new spring wardrobes and brighter colors and get rid of the heavy, heavy coats. So we can certainly talk about that. And it makes you feel so good when you just don't have to wear your gloves and your scarf and your hat every day.
Yeah. So what were like your key pieces from your closet growing up that you always kind of wore in the spring? And has that changed?
Well, I think it probably hasn't changed because we didn't wear that many pants when I was growing up. We wore mostly skirts. And I went through all the same phases that you're all going through now. I was a product of the mini skirt, so we wore minis. Then we wore maxi things in the 60s. So it's fashion cycles. Some of the things from the 80s, which were over the top and overly exaggerated, have come back a little because you saw that in the Grammys and what they're wearing and the big coats and the things that you would never wear if out to a restaurant yourself, but it's fun to watch somebody else wear it. So those things do come about. They're not really the trends that everybody is going to walk in the store or go online and buy, but I do think color is coming back, and we did wear a lot of color, especially in the late 50s and 60s. Color was everywhere. The Beatles had all the psychedelic colors on their albums, and a lot of that was translated into fashion, and everybody wore it. And certainly the Courrèges clothes, the short minis with the little leather short crop jackets, all are back now, that type of look. So fashion comes around, and good things, if you hold them in your closet and you can still fit into them, last forever.
But how do you know which are the ones that are going to be in and which that were like, I can't believe this was ever cool?
Well, of course, there is no guarantee, but people who have a good eye, and those are the people like stylists, I guess, today, or fashion icons who always knew what the trends were going to be. It doesn't mean that everything they picked out was going to be something fabulous that would last forever, but something pretty. I'll just make it for instance because it's been copied down to Zara and everybody else for 1999, but the old Chanel sweaters and jackets are still
like a tweed mini set kind of thing.
I mean, those were things that she did in the 30s and 40s in Paris, in couture naturally, but were translated down to regular clothes for regular people, and they're being shown today. Wherever you go, the little pearl buttons that she introduced on suits are back again. So, things that were classic seem to last longer than something that's,
But what makes something classic?
What makes something classic is something that is done with good taste and that perhaps can age well. I don't know what, there's no guarantee on that. You can have something that, you had a flip phone that everybody thought was going to last forever, and it lasted, and then it wasn't going to last anymore, and you went to a flat screen on your phone. So, nobody knows what's going to be in the future unless you have a crystal ball, Kim. But if you have a very pretty silk shirt or any kind of little classic straight dress, it probably will last longer than something that has jagged edges and just is
so then
for
what's
one
the
season.
Difference between classic and basic?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think something basic can be boring, but classic doesn't have to mean boring.
Well, classic would be a little black dress. A little black dress has been the same forever. Whether it was long, short, whatever. People always need a black dress, probably a white dress, and a pair of black trousers, and a blazer. Those are classics. They're going to last whether you're in the workplace or if you're going out for dinner or if you're going to someone's home for a party. You might accessorize it differently, and you might wear a different shirt underneath that jacket, but a jacket is a jacket. Now, they're all types of jackets. You know, you can have short jackets, you can have long jackets, but a regular suit jacket that you would wear, let's say, to work, translates into a black jacket that you can wear at night. I mean, it really, those things, you know, are going to be staples in your closet. Now, a feathered sweater that may be great looking to go to a party in is not a classic, but it still could be fun and probably brought out of your closet once a year as a fun thing.
Right. So what are like trends you engaged with when you were at any time in your life that you don't understand, like why it was ever
Well, I think I
cool?
never liked the maxis. First of all, I'm
What's that,
short.
like a long dress,
That's a
you
very
mean?
long dress, a long skirt. You know.
So
the
but did you
whole
ever
hippie
wear
look.
it?
No, I never wore it because I'm too small to wear it. I really never really liked. I did wear the T-length. That I
Yeah.
can say, and it was not particularly flattering on me because it really is made for a taller girl. I sort of look better.
Or
if
you
it,
could wear really high heels.
well, I did wear high heels in those days, but somehow I'm only 5'2", so the maxis were on the ground for me. It was not a great look for me, but for other women, it looked fabulous on and still is being worn today.
Yeah. What when you look at like fashion icons and different movie stars and stuff like that,
There are
obviously.
very few of those, Kim, if you really think about it.
What do you mean?
Well, you had Audrey Hepburn. She was the icon. Grace Kelly, an icon in fashion. She was very
What
classic.
did Grace Kelly wear?
She was always very traditional in her clothing. She wore very traditional, very American look type of clothing. Audrey Hepburn was very Givenchy, but the little black dress, the strand of pearls, that was a classic. Coco Chanel, classic. Schiaparelli, classic. But then you have others that went, way out there and were fun for a season or two, and sort of you can only look at them from a style point of view as being innovative, not necessarily classic.
So, and then when you look at stars now, like you've probably seen a lot of them throughout their whole career. I know you don't like follow movie stars and that stuff that closely, but like
I don't think there are any great movie stars right now. To be very truthful, the ones that I knew were people who survived because they were acting and they were there for many decades, either as a young star or as a middle-aged star, and then became an older star because they were great actresses.
and how did their style evolution like change, or were they always sticking to like the
No,
same?
I think they always stuck to the same. When they were out in public, they always proved to be glamorous. They were never, glamour was very important in the 40s, 50s, 60s. Not so much the 70s, and then came back, of course, in the 80s. You're interrupted by war. Whenever there's any kind of warfare anywhere in the world, people pull back. They don't want to look outlandish. They want to become conservative. They don't want to show off their style. They want to, really think about more serious things. That would be the word for it. So you get away from frivolity and go back to being serious again. And then it breaks out again, that you do want to have bright colors and you do want to have fun, but everybody has, a thought on what fashion should be and their own fashion. See, I think what's so empowering now, and you can talk to this, is that now people go on the internet and can surf hundreds of different looks and order it at their fingertips. They need never go into a department store, and makes it much more creative. They can put shoes on from one place and dresses or skirts on from another, or pants. So I think that is a very big plus. Of course, it doesn't help the the malls too much and the department stores.
But I see what you're saying. Like, it's not like you can really source something from
Correct.
anywhere. So like, if you're like, oh, I want to make this really cool outfit, but all I want is like a purple hat. You don't have to go to a million stores to find a purple
Right.
hat. You just Google purple hat.
Exactly.
And then can add it to your outfit. So yeah, I
Exactly.
guess if you're like really creative in that way,
Well,
but
I
I feel
think
like
that's
most
what
of us
people are
just go
doing.
on to like Revolve and then add the things that we
QVC,
like.
or they go on to whatever they want to go on to see what the general styles are showing, and it usually looks very good, when they translate it at home, and they take the effort away from your having to look. They give you a look already that is curated, and that's very important because people don't want to waste. First, women especially today, forget men. Men have become the style icons now. Women want to wear men's clothing because it's so much chicer, I think, in many aspects than women's. Women don't want to waste an entire day going into a store and looking for an outfit. So they'll when they come home from either work or from taking care of their child, they go on for a little while online, hopefully not very long, and they pick out something that they think might look good, and it's delivered within a day or so. And if you don't like it, you return it. So, I mean, that's the whole difference, I think, in how people dress and think today, which is good. It's good.
There are also a lot of brands that only make unisex clothing.
Well, that's like what Harry Styles wore on the Grammys.
I don't know how it works with fit a lot of the time. I guess you have to kind of
you have to figure it out.
Committing to that aesthetic of like either being a little bit oversized or.
But I think that's also the look now, don't you think?
Exactly.
Oversized?
I think like unisex will be a lot of the look, but it's also like I don't want to lose femininity.
Oh, I don't
clothing.
think femininity will ever go away. I mean, people still want to have a pretty décolleté.
Like if you think about it, I'm wearing like a vest.
Yes,
like this,
which
like
I think is a little cut out.
You mean a little low?
A little low for work, but all right.
But anyway, like technically, this could be men's or women's piece.
Correct. Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah, heads up to the guy who thought of this.
We were trying to like think about what trends are in for spring, since spring is coming up, and so I was looking on like Instagram and like different fashion websites.
Bright colors are definitely always in.
Well, like
spring.
Maximalism instead of minimalism, like doing a lot of different fun, bold things together.
Yeah. Well, that different prints, like we saw in Emily in Paris, which whoever was that stylist is such a genius.
It's the person who did Sex in the City too.
Oh well, she's terrific, or he's terrific. They're great. When you put plaids with flowers, and it's fun. But you have to sort of be young to do that. I don't think
so.
Well,
really?
I think you have to be a little careful if you're over 65 and you want to put a flower, unless you have a figure for it, which many women do, older women. Older women tend to be tone down their prints and their different fabrics that they wear because it looks a little chicer. But you know what? It doesn't necessarily mean that somebody can't come out with a fabulous pair of palazzo pants and a pretty Pucci top or look-alike Pucci. I've seen that now all over the place, and it looks great whether you're wearing a printed little blazer and a pair of classic pants and a heel or a lower pump. I know the big heels with the exaggerated platforms are very big for young people.
I don't have a pair of those. I would like to get one. I just
don't
know what it goes with.
You could, because you wear shoes well. If I wore that, they'd have to have an ambulance trailing behind me because I could never balance myself. But they are fabulous looking. And it has to be a bright color. You don't do it in a black. You got to do it in a red or a pink or a purple, or a yellow, whatever the brightest color you can possibly find that fits. You should buy it in because it's sort of an accessory.
Yeah. Well, when I went to the movies the other day, to that fan premiere of the Netflix movie, it was like a really casual theater. No one was really dressed up. There were some people taking photos, like if you're like talent who was invited, like we were able to go at like the step and repeat, and there was a girl in like a bright pink dress with feathers and then those platform pink heels, which maybe for like a cool like a event, but it was just a chill movie theater and everyone was like,
I think she was a little overdressed for the event.
Like whose fault is that though? Like, but also like
her fault because she wants to be seen.
I think it's more about she's going to post that on Instagram. It's going to look like a bigger event than it was.
Exactly. Remember when we went to that one fashion show in the fall and everybody spent their entire night doing selfies.
A more popular. I mean, that was a more fancy event.
Right. Yes, but I think this woman really wanted to make a statement, which was fine, and maybe she thought that maybe one of the photographers that were taking pictures of Aaron, what is it?
Ashton
Kutcher would take her picture.
What's his name?
Ashton.
What's his last name?
Kutcher. What's his
Ashton
name?
Kutcher.
Kutcher. whatever.
It's not Jared Kushner.
All right. Well, that would have been good. Maybe he did the Abraham Accords.
What do you think of like the corset top trend?
Well, I think it's very pretty on you. I think that's a young look. I love it. I love it when you have it in that little black velvet top you have. You have a very pretty printed blouse that has a little corset look. But that's really for people under 40. I don't think anybody over 40 should even be put in those outfits, because then your skin starts hanging out in different areas. Your arms don't look so good. I think
But what if it makes them feel good?
let them wear it at home with their partner and show off. But I don't think it looks so good in public. I think certain styles are for the young. And they should, that's fine. I mean, like a lot of these out like Taylor Swift wore the cutout little two-piece outfit for the Grammys. That looks good on Taylor Swift. It doesn't translate to anybody over a certain age. It looks great on somebody who's tall or short, who has got a great little body and who's young. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody should go for that. That's fine. A lot of these cutouts that the designers make, whether they be on the top or the bottom or the side, you really have to have a spectacular figure. I mean, who wants to look at somebody whose fat is sticking out of one of those little holes? Mm-hmm. I really think that, word to the wise, it's not for you if you've got a roll around your midriff.
Saying that certain trends only work for younger people, are there certain trends that only work for older people that younger people can't do?
Well, I don't think that younger people would wear a classic jacket. Which older people, I mean anybody over 50 that wants to go out for dinner is going to wear something that looks chic, that's sort of not conservative. It doesn't have to be conservative, but it can't have your breasts hanging out and be cut up to your waist. It's just not appropriate unless you're going to a bar downtown or in Miami or wherever, or Vegas. It just doesn't look right. It doesn't translate, and it doesn't. It's not appropriate. Can they not wear it? They can wear whatever they want. There's a free country. We're absolutely free. You could do it. But will it look terrific? In my opinion, no. I think you should dress for your age. You can always add a little fun accessory that perhaps somebody wouldn't wear normally. I mean, like one of the little bags that you call the crossbodies that are so popular with young people. Or the little sparkle purse to wear at night. Those are fun accessories that can be worn by everybody. But I think everyone should be true to themselves and how they think they should look. And you know what? Look online. Look at the people that you really think look so fabulous and bring it down to a look that you can afford and that you could look well in. Mm-hmm. Not everybody can look well in a high green boot, but they can perhaps look well in a high black boot.
Yeah.
It really depends on where you live and your lifestyle.
Yeah. And personally, we both like to bring our looks together with both doing classic things. Like, even though I will sometimes go for a trend, or you'll sometimes.
Well, you should.
We definitely both streamline our styles with like that classic look. Like, even now I'm wearing pearl earrings. Like, that could have worked for
me,
you,
right.
or it could have worked for us 50 years ago.
Correct.
And it'll probably work in 50 years.
That's right.
So.
That's exactly right. That's what makes a classic.
Yeah. So I thought for the 1950s movie, maybe we could do Funny Face. I can't remember if that's a repeat, but that is all about fashion and fashion photography and all of that with Audrey Hepburn. So enjoy if you haven't seen that yet.
It's a wonderful film, and it makes you happy. I mean, that's the only thing I have to say. I think we have to put more films out there that people can just sit, eat a little popcorn, and smile. We need a lot of smiling now.
Mm-hmm. And fun and romance.
Right.
Like I could write a rom-com, but maybe one day.
Maybe you will.
We're also going to be posting on social media some retro fashion looks that Grandma Gail has worn before. So if you don't follow us, go check that out. Excuse my grandma. And we will see you next week.
Bye.